It was abrupt. It was violent. It was totally unexpected. We didn't think it could happen here, but it did, and with tragic results. 27 people died. The tornado touched down near Beaumont at 3 p.m. It ripped along Edmonton's eastern boundary, cutting a swath 40 kilometers long and up to 1 kilometer wide. It stayed down for just over 1 hour, causing its heaviest damage at these locations: Beaumont, Mill Woods, the Southeast Industrial Area, Clairview, and the Evergreen Mobile Home Park.
I was on holidays that week, and I received a call from the senior trouble dispatcher. His name is George Leckie. He called me and he said that there was a disaster. And I said, well, what's happened? What's the problem? And he indicated to me that there was 240 kV transmission line down. And I just headed straight out to my car and headed for the North Service Center. It was a disaster. In fact, our entire Lambton substation, which is fed from the 240 kV transmission, it was entirely out of power.
All of Mill Woods was blacked out. And that was just the beginning of the problems. For the next 5 hours, the trouble calls poured in.
Got a faulted transformer.
Over.
Yes, we have all that now, Bob. Thank you.
10-4.
Hey, Fred, we've got to go.
Service lines were down. Trees and debris were short-circuiting power lines. Transformer fuses were blown. On Friday and Saturday, Edmonton Power work crews responded to over 400 trouble calls. Longtime employees had never seen anything like it.
During the heights of the storm, we used up to 200 people. Everybody that could possibly work was out and helped in any way they could. We had probably 30, 40 people that phoned in, volunteered, and came in and helped. One fellow down in, I think he was down in Radium, he phoned in to see if he could come in and give us a hand. The dedication of those people was tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Edmonton Power lost 2 240 kV towers. TransAlta Utilities, whose lines interconnect with the Edmonton system, had 20 kilometers of transmission right-of-way destroyed. 49 240 kV towers went down like 10 pins. TransAlta's damage totaled up to $8 million. The destructive force of the 330 kilometer per hour tornado winds was almost beyond belief.
This was our dead-end tower. It's a 119-foot tall tower, weighed 43,000 pounds. When the tornado landed on it, it picked it up and carried it around 330 feet to the northwest.
Well, when we first arrived on 76th Avenue, it was like a scrapyard. The cars, just unbelievable. I've never seen it before. Just cars all over the place. We couldn't get by to cut the high line down or nothing. We had to wait for some tow trucks to come and move all the cars out of the way so we could go and clear the lines.
I saw wire damaged and broken like this and blown from the poles up to 150 meters into the fields.
When I arrived at Evergreen Trailer Park after the tornado, all these wires were down on the ground, blown into the trailer park. There'd been enormous amounts of debris blown right through the lines, and in places whole trailers had blown through the line and took it all down.
We got a call to come out to 76th Avenue and 34th Street and clear some wire, and we arrived there. It was an utter disaster because there were people stumbling out of there and pouring clothes. The building's completely gone. Wire laying all over the place, so we proceeded to clear the wire off the road so the police and fire department and stuff, and ambulances could get through.
Some Edmonton Power employees were touched personally by the disaster. This is all that was left of trouble man Clinton Keats' mobile home. His wife, Dorothy, was in it when the tornado hit. Miraculously, she survived after being hurled some 150 meters. Clinton also had a close call.
This is a garage, believe it or not, and I was here getting my car fixed and this particular day, and the wind started to blow hard, and some fella hollered tornado, and we all headed for safety and ended up in this washroom. My wife was over in that direction in the trailer home, and when I got over there 5 minutes later and saw the total devastation of our trailer, I couldn't believe she was alive. And she had been picked up by a couple and given to a policeman, and he was taken her to the hospital, and they went by this garage, and she thought also that I was dead. So it wasn't until 11 hours later that we were able to find each other again.
The tornado and the violent hailstorm that followed knocked out electricity to 73,000 Edmonton Power customers, more than a quarter of the utility's clientele. Outages lasted anywhere from 20 minutes to 3.5 hours. By Saturday morning, power was back on in virtually all of the affected areas, but the repair operations continued for days. It was a period in which employees were operating on adrenaline, voluntarily working long shifts and grabbing breaks, food, and sleep whenever they could.
Yeah, we started at 6:30 and Thursday night, and we worked all night, me and Mark, and then they were short of guys Friday, so we stayed for the day and went home about 2:30, worked all, Louis called us back in at 5 and worked all night. I couldn't handle it anymore, so I went home for a break. Then we came back in 12 o'clock Saturday and worked till 6:30 Sunday.
So you worked about 48 hours straight then?
Yeah, pretty close. It was quite a long shift, all right. So, how did you hear about it? Did you hear it on the radio, or?
Yeah, I was on holidays, and we're camped just east of Elk Point, and heard it about 5 o'clock Friday night that the tornado hit Edmonton. So I tried to phone in, couldn't get through into Edmonton, and so backed up Saturday morning and drove in, tried to phone operations, and the lines were all busy. And got in touch with one of the trucks that were on the road and told me I was in town, to go to work, so they called me out Saturday night.
It was that kind of dedication that helped the utility cope with the worst disaster ever to hit this city. Dedication went hand in hand with a high degree of training, versatility, and experience. The staff had tackled many tough storms before, although this was the toughest. A condition maintenance program where major weak spots are routinely removed from the system averted the potential of even greater damage. The assistance of other utilities added to the effectiveness and speed of repair efforts. The city of Calgary provided a 13-member work crew. Alberta Power sent material. And TransAlta and Edmonton Power personnel worked together to restore and repair power lines and facilities. The job was tough. The conditions less than ideal. Senior power lineman Pat Ryan spent a lot of his time in the air, in driving rain and darkness, with mass confusion below.
Couldn't see because the rain was in your face, on your glasses. The wind blowing, you couldn't hear your partner talking to you if you were getting close to any exposed parts. All that rain, gloves became just like soapstone. Everything you grabbed was just so slippery. Made you very scared working above all the people on the ground that were trying to clean up debris.
Crews in the field also had to battle traffic congestion and communication problems. There was a lot of interference with two-way radio transmission. Some phone lines were out.
And over the course of the weekend, our major problem overall was trying to find fresh bodies to continue to work, especially on Sunday. We were looking for crews to work on Monday, and the people with the most sleep, I think, probably was a total of maybe 4 hours.
We learned of the tornado at 7 minutes after 3 on that bleak Friday, and by 3:30 we had our command post going and most of the city employees were in place. They did a tremendous job freeing people from debris and wreckage, and in particular I want to commend the people at Edmonton Power for the great work they did. We had tremendous devastation to power lines, to pylons, and it was quick action on their part that got things under control quickly.
In dollar terms, the July 31st tornado was the most destructive natural disaster in Canadian history. Here's an inventory of the damage sustained by Edmonton Power. 155 wooden poles had to be replaced. Some had been sucked right out of the ground. 83 poles had to be straightened and reset. 36 distribution transformers were destroyed. 42.5 kilometers of wire went down. 2 240 kV transmission towers were reduced to scrap metal, mangled like they were made out of tin foil. The tornado cost Edmonton Power $2.3 million.
Restoring power to our customers is a very high priority, and when our customers are out of power, we do not take out a calculator to work out the costs. We get the power restored.